Welcome to Sports Sushi. Your chefs for tonight are Sports Plug Russ, serving up the spiciest sports takes of the week. Sterling Furrow, rolling the X's and O's into an analytical maki platter. And finally, the moderator who always keeps the sake flowing, DJ Slow Boogie. Now grab those chops.
Welcome to another episode of Sports Sushi. It is Wednesday, so you already know what time it is. New episode of Sports Sushi today. Sports Plug Russ could not be with us today. He's out doing daddy duties, so man, shout out to you, my boy. We got Chris.
Well, that's true family, man, Clark.
Yeah, we got Chris, the big boss, sitting in with us today. How you doing, Chris, man? I'm
still hot from last night, if I'm being honest.
All right, we're gonna get into that in a little bit. If you haven't know, if you're a first time listener here, we are all collectively part of a Madden league, and Chris has some stuff that went down that he wants to kind of get into a little later. But before we get into any of that, if you're tuned in, please tune into us through the Gratwick Enterprise Network on Facebook, or if you're tuned in through the YouTube, it is Gratwick Podcast Network. So Gratwick Enterprises on Facebook, Gratwick Podcast Network on YouTube and Twitch. Also, if you are tuned in on Twitter, you can tune in live with us on the Discord app. Just click the link in the bio right there, and if you choose not to and you want to listen to us, we will have this uploaded in 24 hours on all podcast services and networks as well. But before we get into the show, we wanted to say rest in peace. Oh man, I just
man down.
Yeah, man down. Mine just went completely blank.
I don't know who died.
Yeah, who died?
Franco.
Franco Harris.
Franco Harris, dude.
Oh, Franco Harris, man. It's like the anniversary of the catch too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Coming up.
Yep. So
he really didn't want to show up for that, huh?
He said, "I'm out." Deuces.
Franco Harris, the man that made the catch, man. R.I.P. For the immaculate reception. One of the great plays. Very great play. Before my time.
An illegal play today.
Yeah, be definitely illegal play. A lot of stuff would be illegal today if we're just being honest here. But R.I.P. to Franco Harris, one of the greats, Hall of Famers, and all time great Steelers. I'm not a Steelers fan, but hey, I know you guys are.
Not Steelers fans either.
Yeah, we're not Steelers fans. None of us here are.
Hey.
But didn't they beat the Cowboys with that play? Isn't that what happened?
Yeah, I think
it's always a good day when you beat the Cowboys.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah, so resident Cowboy fan Russ could be here, and rightfully so.
So we're going to kick the Cowboys in every segment.
Every segment. So, but not in this next segment. We're going to go over to the NBA. And we're going to talk about my boy.
We got this day in sports here, buddy. I got my segments ready.
Oh,
I got an either or.
Well, and then you didn't even say, got my man Sterls in here. Nothing.
Oh
dog.
man,
You just left me hanging, dog.
I'm over here trying to freeze past. My bad, man. Sterling, man, how you been, dog? How you been?
Dang.
How you been, my boy? I'm sorry. Hugs.
No, man, it's all good, dude. It's like 3 degrees here in Denver right now. It's super cold and it's snowing. So yeah, I'm working remote tomorrow. So I'm just saying, if we want to do some GML, we can do some stacks and weeks, man. I'm ready.
Oh yeah, we definitely gonna get those rotations in. Most definitely. But like we were just talking about, man. We got our today in sports. So Chris, you're sitting in for us. So what you got for us today?
This day in sports, 1891 was the first round ball game. Basketball with official rules. They set up the basket, shot it, played a game somewhere, Springfield, Massachusetts, I believe.
Okay. So we got a little bit of basketball news to lead us into our basketball history. Dame, all-time Dame, whatever you want to call him. We got Damian Lillard is the all-time leading scorer for the Portland Trailblazers. So, all right, man, look, I'm gonna say this right now. Like, I've been a part of this man's journey to becoming who he is, and my fandom has taken beatings and beatings and beatings and beatings because I'm a Rockets fan, and I'm gonna be honest with you. The first time he hit the shot, over the Rockets in the playoffs, yeah, bro. That's I think that was like the first moment of like Damian Lillard, like, hey, I'm here. This is Dame time.
Yeah.
And ever since then, dog, it was just like, every time he goes off and he does this, I just remember it in my head. Chandler Parsons getting splashed on in his face. It's just ugly. Ugh.
Oof.
Anyway,
Oof.
but this is big news, man. I look. I like Damian Lillard, even though he has broken my team's heart, time and time again. But look, man, shout out to Damian Lillard. I think I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Like, I think Dame. All right, so before I go into this, I'm just going to defer to you, Sterling,
okay.
and then I'm gonna hit you with the question.
He needs some time so he doesn't lie to us.
Yeah.
So I find he beat Clyde Drexler. Like, Clyde was that dude, man.
Mm-hmm.
That I think it's impressive. I can't even hate on it. I like Dame Lillard, the player. I think a couple other names in there was LaMarcus Aldridge at third, which I kind of even forget, like, that LaMarcus Aldridge played for the Blazers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember him at UT, and then I remember him with the Spurs. Like, I really just completely blanked that the man played most of his career, the good parts of his career with Portland. And then you got, how many of y'all thought that Terry Porter was number 4 on the list? You remember Terry Porter?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I did. I had Terry Porter all day.
Yeah, Terry Porter is number 4, and not John Paxson, but Jim Paxson.
Jim Paxton, yeah. I had Jim Paxton at 5 too.
Yeah, another white boy that could shoot. But yeah, man, I thought Rasheed Wallace would be higher on the list though, but he comes in at 11.
All right, so this will be my question, man. Like, he is, he has the all-time scorer, so a lot of people are going to say he's the best Trailblazer of all time. But is he really the best Portland Trailblazers to ever suit up thus far?
He has to. Yeah, I think so.
Is he more of a Brian Mitchell of Portland Trailblazers, where it's just longevity? You've been there long enough that you just kind of, by default, end up with records?
Well, I'll say this. Maybe Brandon Roy was the best Trailblazer ever, even though it was short-lived. This thing how cold he was, like, before the injuries.
Yeah.
Right?
Brandon Roy. I mean, yeah, people forget because the career was very short, but, like, when he played, Brandon Roy was that nigga, dog.
Yeah.
Brandon Roy was that guy, yeah. And this is a good question. But you know what? I got to go with the Dame. I just got to side with Dame on this one because him or Brandon Roy. Okay, if we give Brandon Roy health and the same length, years of play, that's a tough one.
It's a tough one, right?
That's a tough one.
If I asked you to come up with your top 5 teams in baseball, NBA, and football that are virtually irrelevant, would the Portland Trailblazers be in your top 5?
Yeah.
I gotta say, because okay, even though they had those moments where they bested the Rockets that little period, and it just damn man, if Brandon Roy, shout out to Ghost, it's just I gotta say it because what I know them as is not for basketball play. It was like the stories that I heard about the Trailblazers like in the 80s and the 90s. Those stories and shit like that, but not for like actually hooping and shit like that.
Yeah, they're like literally just another team.
Yeah.
But I mean, so, but that shouldn't diminish or shorten the feat that what Dame Lillard has done there. And I think that out of him and Brandon Roy, I just got to give the edge to Dame. I got to give the edge to Dame.
That's fair.
Yeah. And it's just because he showed me like how many times, time and time again, man, clutch moments don't matter to him. He's just like, all right, yeah, cool, whatever, splash,
Yeah.
go home. He'll break your heart, dog.
I could say, like, we could say that Damian Lillard is the best scorer of the The Blazers, not just from a points perspective, obviously, but just skill. Yeah, but I feel like Brandon Roy was more of a complete player than he is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's just, and
that's not a slight on Dame
it's
at
not.
all.
It's not. It's just how they play. It is.
Yeah.
You know what immediately pops into my head when I hear first round clutch? Lamar Jackson.
Oh shit! And you know what? You're right. Even though you hate Lamar Jackson, you're actually right about that.
Man, I don't know, dude. This is a tough one. Like,
this is where we need Russ in here to argue.
Yeah.
Me and him will be arguing right now.
Yeah, because Russ would just be like, you know what? No, you'd be like Brandon Roy. But no, man. But that's how I'm looking at it. It's just like I seen how Dame stepped up, and Brandon Roy, like you said, was a better all around player. But in today's NBA, scoring is that's who gets the that's who gets the top billing. That's who gets all the attention there.
Chicks take the long ball.
Yeah,
it ain't doing nothing for them because the Trailblazers ain't done shit.
And that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
And they're not and they're not gonna make it out of the West. I think that's just something that that people are. Every time I see the rankings and stuff like that, the preseason NBA rankings, and they have them in there, I just kind of just chuckle and just like, huh, all right, we'll see how that happens. But all right, man, let's move over to the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns got sold to a billionaire. I just had the article, but Phoenix Suns get sold. I didn't even know they were up for sale.
Didn't they have to be up for sale? Didn't that dude say some dumb shit?
Yeah.
No, the owner of the Suns.
I thought so.
Yeah, I think
this was a long time ago, right?
No, within the past year or so. I thought he said some dumb shit, and they weren't going to take his team like they did to the Clippers guy, but like everybody was really mad at him, pissed off. So I think he just voluntarily said, "Fine, I'll sell it."
Because I'm gonna be honest, man, like that shit completely like slipped my mind. Because I was like, I said, I didn't even know there was up for sale, but I didn't even know there was a scandal or anything happened that.
Yeah, I don't think he was talking shit about Magic, but
he said some racist shit.
Yeah.
Oh well, shit. That would do it. Now I got to go look for it. Let me go look. But I look, man. The way that the Suns are going, you got Chris Paul out here graduating from college, over here elbowing people, being dirty like he always is. I'm sorry, you may not like it, but like Chris Paul is a dirty player. Like fuck it, it is what it is. You seen it.
I heard he's an adulterer too.
Oh yeah.
Aren't they all?
Yeah, there was like, yeah, he's gonna lose his squeaky clean image and stuff like that. I said, when was his image squeaky clean?
Doesn't he get more street cred for being on the Kim Kardashian train?
I mean, look, man,
isn't that like a badge of honor amongst the NBA players?
Do you blame him? I mean, look. Kim is a one and doneer. Hit it and just move on, dog, because she's gonna ruin your life.
And look, like how many, like what? It was Chris Humphries, Kanye, Reggie Bush.
She's got her whole squad,
bro.
It's a lot, dog. It's a lot of names underneath that
Pete Davidson. Like, name something that does not fit. Pete Davidson, Kanye.
Yeah, Kanye. Then you got
Pete
athletes.
Davidson, Chris Humphries.
I feel like the Pete Davidson stuff is now like just a total PR gimmick. Like, I feel like Kim Kardashian, those two was kind of the line of maybe it was real, maybe it wasn't. But the Wojcicki one right afterwards and all, total fucking PR move because he's now the buzz guy that everybody will talk about if you're seen with him.
Oh, okay. Now I remember it, guys. Robert Saber. Yeah, Sauber, I mean. Robert Sauber, is that that was the owner, right? The past owner.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to go look it up. I said,
I was like, yo, Kim got him too?
No. I
was like, damn.
No. Kim didn't get him. Jesus Christ. Look, man, the Kardashian thing, it was like, I looked at it like, man, she has, enough names to start her own sports agency or even management, whatchamacallit.
Especially when you had the other sisters in.
Oh yeah, if you add them in,
Got some references.
yeah. Whew.
So now, do you know who Matt Ishbia also bought the Phoenix Mercury? So I guess the Suns and the Mercury were a
Yeah,
package deal.
yeah. Usually, because from my understanding, what the Houston Comets situation, yeah, they usually kind of are. The NBA team usually owns the WNBA team,
You're
and
like forced to take it if you really want the
yeah,
actual thing you want. You want
yeah.
this NBA team, you
You
gotta
gotta
take this
take
WNBA
yeah.
team too.
and
Bro.
and that's what happened with the comments. Nobody wanted to buy the comments, and they couldn't find an owner, so they end up folding. And so I was like, dude, you talk about the first dynasty of the WNBA, and y'all can't find an owner, a buyer for this team. So it just it was just one of those things at the time. Um, but yeah, they can't. They usually are like a package deal, like a sister league, if you want to call it.
I'll sell you this
So
Ferrari, but you gotta take the Pinto with it.
I wouldn't call them Pinto, but
Yeah, Pinto runs.
yeah, they're something a little nicer than Pinto. I'm thinking like a Toyota Maxima or something like this. Nissan
so
Maxima.
bruh. Hey, so you know why this dude got suspended from the league, right?
Uh, Let me take a wild stab at it. Was something racist?
Hell motherfucking yeah. This
Okay.
nigga racist, bro. So let me tell you, dog. So look, I'm reading this right now. So apparently he told somebody in his within his trust group or whatever you want to call it. Talking about this is what he said about Draymond
The old boys
Green.
club.
Yeah, Chris, you already know what's up. He goes, you know why Draymond Green gets to run up and down the court and say the N-word? Sarver, who was white, allegedly said repeating the N-word several times in a row. So, you know how white people get nigger, 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 nigger.
Yeah.
That's probably what he did.
Yeah.
And when this guy said you can't say that, so Watson, who was black and Hispanic, told Sarver, and Sarver replied, "Why? Draymond's a nigger." Draymond says the N-word. You can't fucking say that. Watson said again. So there is a slew of misogyny, racism, inappropriate language. I mean, there's a whole article that I'm seeing that has all this stuff about Mr. Sarver and his racist comments.
But he didn't make fun of Magic though, so we're not gonna take his team.
Yeah, you can't touch Magic. But there's a half a dozen allegations of instances where he has said the N-word. So apparently my dude does not like black folk. So they will take your team.
So he didn't have the Dan Schneider clause where he can decide
yes.
whether or not he wants to release this information.
Well, I would say that he doesn't have a good person to get dirty information about other people, because your boy for the Redskins or the Commanders, sorry,
Yes.
he got dirt on everybody.
He said, if I'm going down, I'm taking a
Everybody
lot of people
going
with
down.
me. He's like, Nino Brown ain't the only name.
He did a gunner.
He said, I'm telling.
I'm telling.
He said, you over there. I don't even know you, but I'm gonna tell on you. He said, yeah, man.
Have y'all read about the gunner case and YSL?
Yes, and one of the things that I'll say is that it's a state RICO, and I didn't know that states could have RICO cases. But that was one of the things I was like, okay. But yeah, how I look at it, and I'm no lawyer, and I do have friends that are lawyers and stuff, but it ain't looking
Do you
good.
sleep in a Holiday Inn Express once in a while?
Yeah, it just don't look. It don't look good. It don't look good for Gunner, man. But shout out to you, Gwen. Hold your head up, Jeffrey. We always have Barter 6.
He ain't getting out, bro.
Yeah, he ain't getting out, dog. That's why I said we always have Barter 6, man, and slime season. So, but let's go ahead, man, and go to the next topic here. With the NCAA bowl season is underway, and if you were paying attention, Frank Gore Jr. just ran all over. It wasn't Troy. That was UTSA that played Troy. But Southern Miss ended up winning their bowl matchup, and in the process, Frank Gore broke the NCAA bowl game record with 300 and was it 40 or 349 or 350 yards total. Now I would say this: I seen a couple of quarters of the game. I was dozing off because I'm old. But I actually seen it and look, man. Let me tell you something, dog. That boy, man, looked just like his damn daddy with hair, with hair.
Yeah.
And to see, like to see that name in the back of the jersey, and to see him, moving up and down the field, it was like, damn, dude, just like I'm old because I remember when Frank just got in the league and he was, at the University of Miami, and now you're watching his son, do the same things. So, like, what was your response, your reaction whenever you seen this stat line, Sterling?
Man, it's well. First of all, man, kudos to the young bull. Like, dude ran for that many yards is impressive, dude. He had over 1,300 yards rushing this season. So
Mhm.
when I saw that, I mean, to be honest, I kind of forgot about Frank Gore Jr. until I saw the highlights and the stat line of that game because I know there was a lot of talk about him last year going to Southern Miss and stuff like that. But he really didn't pop off last year. But apparently he's had a much better year. But you're right, he does. He looks like his dad run. And when you look at that 64-yard run, the first one, it's like, damn, like
Yeah,
that's Frank. That's
yeah,
Big Frank. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? Like it looks just like him. So hey man, if he could continue to, he's not on my radar from a draft perspective yet. But if this next season he starts to continue to put, I mean, obviously he's not going to have a 330-yard game, but he starts stringing together some really solid games and some impressive runs, we might be talking about him as a guy to be drafted. But I think as of right now, you probably want to take a shot at him, if he were draft eligible in the late rounds. But there's nothing about him that stands out from a running back. He doesn't have like breakaway speed. He's just, but neither did Frank. So
I
I don't
mean,
know, man.
that stat line's impressive, but the record I really want to know if he's going to break is whether he's going to break the old man's Wonderlick record or not.
What was it, like a 4?
yeah. I think it was
Yeah.
it was very low.
We used to have a nickname for Frank Gore back in the 90s that's no longer PC accurate.
Oh shit! Is it a Ronald Sarver kind of comment?
No, it wasn't racist, but it was definitely kicking down at the mentally challenged.
Oh man.
Oh yeah,
The Russian R.
yeah. The R word.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
Or
But no, man.
Black Forest was another good one.
Oh,
Hey, we all got friends like that just ridiculous athletes that I done played with, and they dumb as shit, bro.
dude. So
Give me the ball and point where the end zone is.
I'm telling you, dog.
he said, shout out to Ghost. Ghost said he better hope Deron Williams ain't got no son. All right, so yeah,
Damn.
damn Ghost.
That's
Shit.
tough. Ghost, that's tough right there, bro.
Yeah, so
God dang. He ain't lying though.
yeah, you ain't lying, man. Deron Williams whooped that boy ass, dog. I was like, fuck, Frank, what the fuck? But no, yeah, we all know an athlete that's that's just really not all the way there. But they play so damn well. Like, okay, I'm not going to name any names and stuff like that, but there was a guy that I played high school ball with, man, and he was he was over 6 foot. He played linebacker. He hit like a fucking Mack truck, and I was like, dude, there's no possible way. Like he was like 6'4", 6'5", or
Was
something
his
like
name
that.
Alvin?
No, but he damn near was close. He played damn near close like him, and I was like, dude, this dude is going to go pro. Like, it's no way that no college would not want him, but his grades were so bad. The best that he could do was like some little podunk D3 college in fucking Arkansas or some shit like that. And when he
It's
just
probably a genius there.
all I know is this: is that he was one of the better people that I was like, I look at him as like, oh, this is a Sunday football player, and did never panned out. And yeah, the smarts, dog, it does play a factor. So yeah.
But I think out of all the positions, running back is one of the positions that like the dumbest players can still be good at. Just here's the ball. Don't let anybody tackle you.
Yeah, and just hit the holes. It's not really a lot of reading. Like, you'll read and you'll see the same thing a linebacker see, but your job is kind of more of a straightforward thing.
More instinctual. Run where they're not.
Yeah, run where they're not. Hit the holes that's open. Make a guy miss. And that was kind of like the thing. Don't take any negative yardage, and for God's sakes, don't fumble it. It wasn't a lot of responsibility, I guess, unless you were doing your pass blocking assignments and stuff like that. But how you said, Chris, is kind of straightforward though.
Yeah, I think out of all the positions, running back is the position that can be played like mostly based on instincts. Like, obviously, the more technical you are, and that just improves it. But out of all positions, if you just had sheer elite instincts, that's the position you can get away with playing.
Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and go to the next subject. Travis Hunter is entering the transfer portal. Surprise, surprise, surprise. How many of you have seen this coming? I know I have.
Well. So I thought it was a done deal that he was going with Deion, but apparently, which I still think he's going to go to University of
leverage.
Colorado.
You need some leverage.
But I think he's probably out there trying to just feel it out and just kind of see what's up. But he's going to Colorado.
Yeah, and I'm looking at it as like, and this is just me, and this is how I'm feeling about it, is that when I seen that, that they had this position at cornerback, I was like, oh, he's definitely going with Deion. Having this kid play cornerback and learning from one of the greatest cornerbacks of all time that there's arguably that ever played the game, that's what I'm kind of looking at it as. He's going to cornerback college at Colorado, and to continue his tutelage under Deion. Yeah. But I mean, and he can go anywhere really. Like, he still is. Sure. Yeah, he still is 1 year away from the number one. From being the number one guy in the country, and he could still go anywhere if he wanted to. What you about to say, Chris?
I was going to ask if Deion worked things out with his son or not, but
it
wasn't one of the kids like, I'm not going to Colorado, that was supposed to come and play with him.
I didn't hear that. I don't think they had a choice.
Yeah, I know he got two that plays.
Yeah,
and I know.
I thought one came, and then during the press conference, he was talking about how he was beefing with his other kid, and he didn't show.
I don't know, man. It might have been what is it, Shiloh?
Shiloh plays corner. Shadur plays quarterback.
And I'm pretty certain Shadur is in tow.
Yeah, he's going.
What are they, a year apart?
Yeah.
Travis Hunter's going too.
Yeah.
I just think he goes.
And it's like, yeah, man, I think, Deion, when he brings his guys, his boys there, it's, and like a lot of people were upset at that, like we covered it a little bit, but with Deion bringing in his guys, it's the same thing he did whenever he was at Jackson State. So It's nothing that he's doing different. It's just him, basically just being himself and just being Deion, and that's what you got in the house, and that's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get prime time.
But PC prime time. We're not getting that 90s prime time.
Well, no, everything is going to be censored now, Chris. You can't 90s everything, and it was a great time, the 90s. Only if you were there and you were witnessing. It was a crazy time, but God, was it golden.
Dude, how great would it be if Deion dusted off some Too Legit to Quit, brought MC into the program, got hit dust off hammer.
You talking about you going to redo Must Be the Money?
Oh, dog. Hey, let me tell y'all about. Have y'all seen the video of Deion Sanders? This is funny, bro. So, and I love white people. Okay, Chris. I got a lot of white friends. Chris is one of them. Okay,
I'm not racist. I got white friends.
I know.
One of them is right here.
Right here. This motherfucker right here. No.
Am I the token?
No, you're not. You're not. Hey, we spent nights being high together talking about the world's problems, Chris. Okay, but this
didn't
is what
solve any of them.
We didn't, but we thought we did. But this is what I want to talk about, though. So Deion Sanders obviously is in the University of Colorado. So they thought, you know what? Colorado's like, you know what we're going to do? We want you to taste our fried chicken. So they took Deion Sanders to one of these restaurants down off of Pearl. If you ever been to Boulder, you know what I'm talking about. And they say, you know what, Deion? We're going to give you some fried chicken.
They got the crunchies back there making the fried chicken?
Exactly. Exactly. So Deion, being prime, he tastes that chicken. He was like, no, it needs some more flavor. So I've told you guys, like, if you're coming to Colorado, you're not coming here to eat. Like, you're just not. It ain't happening. Especially
right. About them Rocky Mountain oysters.
Hell no.
Nah, man. But no, like I actually I'm planning a trip out there to Colorado, but my biggest thing is that I gotta at least have decent food, you know. But I'm pretty much expecting, you know, how you just described it to be, you know, hey, as long as they got, like, you know, seasoning. And
when are you coming?
I gotta come after February, so it's gonna be after February.
Well, if you come, you got a place to stay, and I'll take you to decent eateries.
See, there we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Don't hold your breath, Sterling. I made the same offer for LA, and he
still
ain't made it out here.
The difference between LA is that
we don't have snow.
No, well, yeah, that too. But now, y'all are far, dog. That's going to be a what you call it. I catch a lot of cheap flights. So basically, I follow this little thing, this little account on Instagram that gives you cheap flights out of Houston. But a lot of them to Denver is like less than $70 round trip. So I'm like, yeah, like I think the cheapest I seen it was like $40.
Yeah,
like crazy deals. So yeah, you know, just because of that, you know, we caught one of the deals, and it was like, okay, let's go ahead and plan out for this one. But anyway, Denver, man, yeah, you know, we're gonna come out there, man. I'm gonna hit the slopes, go hit the dispensaries.
Wait a minute, you ski?
Nope. I'm just gonna be out there looking at the crunchies.
Crunchy bunnies.
Wait.
I want to see some crunchy bunnies.
You trying to get some snow bunnies? You try? I mean, I got a Rolodex of them, bro. I done told you. Y'all already know.
Every ski slope has a nice lodge with some real nice gourmet hot chocolate. You can just sit by the fire and catch them coming in and out on their runs.
Chris, I don't want no motherfucking hot chocolate, nigga. I want to drink no damn hot chocolate.
Hey, my taste is good. Look. Listen.
All right.
I got you. I got good taste. All right.
All right, you right here.
I got you, dog.
He's
got that quality that's worth missing the playoffs for.
Hey, yes, sir.
we would definitely miss you last night, but I told him, I was there. I think I know where he is.
Listen, bro, I got appointments, dog.
Yes. Hey, man, and he can't.
Chris, you know this, bro. You know what it is, bro. You already know. I've been in GML for what, 3 years now, and sometimes it's during a draft.
Yeah.
Who it calls.
Mm-hmm. And you gotta, when nature calls, you gotta answer.
You gotta answer, buddy.
Gotta answer. All right, man. So a couple of guys we're gonna get into, they're hoping to answer the call come at the NFL draft time. We got some guys that's looking to put their hats in their name in the hats and hope to get their name called on that good old draft day. So we got a couple of guys that are entering the draft. I think Max Duggins is one of them, one of Russell's guys, recently declared for the draft. Let me see who else.
Bubba Bolden coming out?
Bubba Bolden? I am not sure about Bubba Bolden.
I really want a Bubba Bolden Bills jersey.
You still talking about this shit, dog? Fucking
Dude,
mad.
If Bubba Bolden and Brew McCoy are perfect for what the Bills need right now. They've got aging safeties. So they got aging safeties, so they could really use Bubba Bolden. And they're still missing a good big body wide receiver that can actually do that on a consistent basis.
You mean
because
like actually catch the ball?
Yeah, because Gabe has proven to be more of a mirage and unreliable. So, Brew McCoy, between the two of them, somebody should be able to do it.
Like, I know the Gabe Davis struggles. I picked him up in fantasy thinking that he was going to be a very complimentary piece, and he has not. He ain't got to say he ain't shit, bro. Yeah, I don't want to say that.
I will. He ain't done shit.
Even with all the drops he had, all he had to do was catch that pass Allen threw at the end of the Jets game, and he'd have freaking made his entire season.
How about the touchdown catch in the Dolphins game? What about that one? Yeah, that one too.
Oh yeah, there's a ton that he's freaking been breaking drops, but just the sheer like spectacle of that bomb that Allen threw on that situation, had he caught that and ran that into the end zone, people would still be like freaking in ecstasy over that, not even realizing he dropped the next 10 passes.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, Gabe Davis has been underwhelming this year, and I do anticipate the Bills to be in the market for a wide receiver within the first two rounds of the draft. I just think it's necessary. But I think a lot of that stuff is going to unravel here in the coming months, and this is where I feel like my work particularly shines because, that I love the draft. I love talking prospects. But yeah, the Bills are definitely in the hunt for wide receiver. But when we talk about guys that I'm excited about coming out this year, I think Will Anderson is one of the he's top of the list for me, man. He's a 243-pound, very reminiscent of like a Von Miller type, bendy around the edge, strong at the point of attack, and he's just a menace. Even though Alabama's defense hasn't been that good this year, but Will Anderson is the top defensive player in this class. I think we're looking at probably 4 quarterbacks coming out in the first round. You got Bryce Young. I think Will Levis will be a first-round pick. C.J. Stroud, and you might throw what's the kid's name from Florida, which I don't think
Anthony Richardson.
Anthony Richardson is another one. Yeah, so I think that's the top 4 in terms of quarterbacks. Running backs, we're still waiting on if Blake Corum's going to come out, but there's a couple good ones. Bijan Robinson, the kid from Alabama. So we'll see how it turns out. But I think this will be I don't know how it's going to stack up in terms of previous drafts, but I think we'll get more into that once we can really start digging in and watching the film and so forth. But it's turning out, it's going to shape up to be a pretty good draft. I just don't know the ceiling of it just yet.
What do you think is the deepest position in this class?
I'm going to have to say right now, wide receiver there's a lot of good wide receivers. It's between wide receiver and defensive line. You got a lot of defensive linemen. Like I said, Will Anderson's one of them. Jalen Carter from Georgia, Brian Breesy, Miles Murphy, these guys, and Nolan Smith. And that's just 5 I just rattled off right there. So defensive line is really strong. If you're a team that is in need of a guy that could disrupt the passer, I mean, I think you're in. This is your draft. Not only do you have top end talent, but you're going to have guys that are day 2 picks that can come in and have a contribution day 1.
How do you feel the value of the wide receiver position is going to evolve going forward? And what I mean by that question is in relation to like running backs. How all of a sudden running backs have completely, the market for them have crashed. Their draft capital is lower than ever. I mean, you really have to kind of have a generational talent to draft somebody in the first round. With wide receivers becoming far more common because every offensive or every college team in the country is throwing the ball all over the place, and you've got wide receivers growing on trees at this point. Is it one of those things where because everybody's passing, they're going to continue to be highly valued, or is it one of these things where ultimately there's so many of them, both in the league, in free agency, and coming up in every single draft class, that their value is going to start to drop alongside running backs?
Yeah, no, I think the wide receiver position will continue to. And as a matter of fact, I think you're going to see teams start to take more wide receivers just because when you're paying guys like Stephon Diggs, Devontae Adams, and all these guys that kind of reset the market this past offseason, you're going to see teams that are going to want to come in, and get a guy early, right? Get a guy that can come in and contribute, and then you have them for that. If they're a first-round pick, you got them for 5 years, right? So you're going to see a lot of that going on. I mean, we talk about this a lot on the show, but it was probably better for the Bills to draft Justin Jefferson than to pay Stephon Diggs, right? And that's okay. Both teams won, but from a financial standpoint, long term,
from a cold, ruthless asshole perspective,
it hurts the Bills because you have a cost control player for 5 years. Right now, Justin Jefferson's they're gonna pay for that. Don't you worry. That contract is gonna be astronomical, but you're gonna see wide receivers be drafted early and often. We saw 7 in the first round last year, just about. You're gonna see the same thing, and these guys are coming in. It's different how it was 10, 15 years ago. Now these guys get drafted. They can come in and contribute day one because a lot of the you're seeing a lot of these college offenses kind of evolve, and necessarily, in the NFL offenses, in terms of a route running perspective, they're kind of meeting in the middle, right? So you're seeing guys that can come in and contribute right when they're drafted off the street.
Okay, so
but Boogie, you gotta ask Chris about his Super Bowl fiasco last night.
Yeah, man. So what we going to do? Because I'm gonna get into that around.
Okay.
Yeah, that's going to be after this next segment here. So we're going to get into our either or here. So either or, you want to take this one, Chris? Is you sitting in for us?
Yeah, I got it. I got an either or for you guys this week. It's super simple, super quick. On one hand, you have the 1 seed, but 2 random starters would be out for the playoffs. On the other hand, healthy roster, but you're the 2 seed. Which one would you guys pick?
Healthy roster, 2 seed. And the only reason why I got to say that is because I don't have any injuries that's out for the playoffs. Like I have a healthy roster. Like I would take my chances playing that extra game than having that extra game for rest. But with the extra game for rest, you still have 2 guys that's injured.
Yeah, you're not getting them back.
You're not getting them back. So here I have a healthy roster moving forward. Now I don't have that 1 week bye. But I have I like my chances with the healthy roster.
What 2 positions? Let's real quick, Sterling, and then you can answer both these questions.
Okay.
Let's say you could pick the 2 positions that you missed your players at.
That's different.
Would you take the 1 seed if you'd say like my starting fullback and my starting left guard are out for the playoffs?
Ah, man. So first of all, I'm going number 1 seed, man. I think the playoffs is tough, and I think anytime you can get in there and kind of see people beat up on each other, you're going to see them get nicked and bruised from the previous game, and especially the way the injuries as a whole in the NFL are kind of on an uptick this year. I would say go for the number 1 seed. Now I think there's something to be said about the logic that Boogie has with taking that number 2 seed, but man, dog, like. You look at some of these teams, especially in the AFC, man, they're knocking each other off left and right. So give me that number 1 seed all day.
Yeah.
And it's like, and it's how you just, how you just said it. Like this past Sunday, I went to the Texans and Chiefs game, and as going in there, I expected it to be a completely like one-sided blowout. But if you watch the game, you knew that wasn't the case. And yeah, you can catch, a couple of these games, whereas, you think that, you should coast through and you might be in the, the fight for your lives. And those realities are there in football. But for me is so I have the number 2 seed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you did.
So I have home field advantage. I'm a big believer in home field advantage, especially in postseason. So, when you tell me wild card, I think of the Giants run, the New York Giants run. Whereas whenever they had the first round buys and stuff like that, they never fared well. But they were just a team that always played well from the wild card out, and whatever he gave me that was the team that jumped in my mind was the New York Giants. So that's kind of where my mental is. So I still got to go with the healthy team. But even though Chris said if you could pick 2 of your spots, it's very enticing because I would pick, like he said, fullback, somebody that has a 0 impact on the game.
Yeah.
Or I'll pick my backup, my long snapper or some shit like that. But yeah, or my placeholder, get the fuck out of here, but if it had to be like, a starting position or a position of importance, I still have to say the second seed wild card.
It's good because if you took the other option, you were going to lose in the Super Bowl to a fumbled field goal snap at the end.
Okay. All right. So our next subject ties into what Chris is trying to say. So we had our, our annual, well, not our annual, we had our Madden League's Super Bowl matchup between Chris here and one of our league members, Dave. They meet up every so often for the championship, and the result always happens eerily the same. Whereas Chris gets screwed some way, fashion, or form, and it has started a running joke saying that EA Sports hate the Buffalo Bills because Chris is always in the short end of some type of controversial call.
There's always something new. Something new for EA.
So our subject is: does competitive Madden or football simulation players or gamers make for the perfect judges of NFL coaches' acumen or game day acumen? Now, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna defer this to you, Chris, because I know what my answer is.
Let's do this in two parts here. Part one is the coaching conversation, and part two is the Super Bowl conversation. So which one do you guys want to have first?
I know Sterling wants to get into the Super Bowl stuff. He wants to know what happened there. So,
okay. So
let's start there.
In order to truly appreciate how disgusted I already was by minute 60 of this game, the very first play of the game, I run a skinny post route. Now, Sterling, I don't know if you've seen this play or not, but Gabe Davis runs a skinny post route inside of cover 3 by Trayvon Diggs. And it's wide open. He's got the big cushion. And as soon as he makes the break in, I throw the ball, and he just stops. It's the subtlest little. You can see it in the replay. He stutter stops and allows Trayvon Diggs to move in front of him and have complete body position on everything when he had a cushion to catch and run on the clean path. And it's completely out of your control. I can't, what can I do that the game just decided my receiver is going to stop in the middle of his route after I throw the ball? So that's how we start. And then it's 45-45, 6.5 minutes left. Great fucking game. Great game. I'm driving down the field for the go-ahead points, and I try to hit Dawson Knox on a seam route against the cover 2. And the linebacker stayed with him the entire way and was on his inside shoulder. And I tried to throw the ball to his outside shoulder. And, of course, the fucking game made it go to the inside shoulder. And his linebacker was able to jump the ball. And he intercepts it at the 2-yard line. And I don't know what Fat Fingers McGee was doing, but for whatever reason, he clicked the L2 there and throws the ball through the back of the end zone. Hits it and goes rolling out. He doesn't even know what the fuck's going on. I'm running for it like a madman with my receiver, and he picks it up what I think is inbounds, and then falls out of bounds. And right away, Dave, safety. And now if the safety's called, that's 47-45, and I get the ball back with 6 minutes to go. All I got to do now is kill the clock out on the drive. Nope. It gives him the ball at the 20-yard line. Because in 3 fucking years, I looked this up, guys, after this shit went down. In 3 fucking years, EA hasn't fixed the fact that if you fumble out of your own end zone, you are not fumbling forward into their end zone, which is when it is a touchback for the other team. They still have this problem.
This is a known issue?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Fumbling out of the back of your own end zone is an automatic safety. Fumbling into the other end zone is a touchback for the defense.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just saw the play, and then we'll tell you what I saw. I saw, first of all, Chris, you threw it with like 3 guys around the ball. Like you threw that to Dawson, hoping for a prayer. You should have threw that somewhere else. But
Josh Allen.
But I saw that Dave Van Der Esch, I think who caught that shit. Yeah,
no, it's some rookie linebacker he's got with a neck roll and a bunch of other hacky horse shit. That of course he was freaking talking big about the whole damn game, and of course that's the guy that has to make the damn play.
See, here's what's so irritating about Dave, because he knows he be saying some bullshit, but once he starts on it, he don't stop, and it pisses you off, bro. It pisses.
Yeah. So I'm fuming at EA And if you listen to the replay, the first words out of his mouth, that's a safety. And then the second he realizes that EA didn't count it as a safety and counted it at the 2, now the dude, like the most extreme freaking political nut job all of a sudden he's all in, and there's no way that was a safety. No, there's no way. That's not a safety in any world, shape, or form. And he's arguing to the death over it. He just wants to go toe to toe. And then these other 4 jackasses in the chat, all of which have played high school football, all of which have played here and there college football, all of which play Madden all the fucking time. That's not a safety. There's no way that's a safety. They're all sitting here fucking gaslighting me. And then they're like, well, it's 5-on-1, so clearly the mob is always right.
Yeah.
So I had to sit there on YouTube for an hour and fucking hunt down fumbles until I found the exact same set of circumstances to post in the chat and show them what a goddamn safety looks like.
Yeah, you didn't have. If I was, there, I would have happily explained what that is.
Of course you weren't there. You were busy freaking ramming a sausage home.
Well, no. I had a presentation that I had to do. Now, extracurriculars outside of that, that's another thing. But all I'm saying is this:
you were presenting something.
He caught the ball on the 2-yard line and he pitched it to the end zone. Now, whether your guy, it should have been a safety. If anything, a safety or a touchdown in your favor. It didn't happen, and that sucks for you. So you shouldn't let Dave take the GML trophy home. He should have.
Do you know how many asterisk bowls he has? He's got like 4 different asterisk bowls, and it's ridiculous that it was such a great game. Like, we both battled back. We both started pulling ahead a little bit. The other one reeled it in. It was such a good game to have EA come and just put their big, giant, fat fucking finger on the scale and screw the whole damn thing up. And it's infuriating to continue to play this game in a highly competitive environment that we all play together and then have, like, the pinnacle of dude, Allen was 5 touchdowns, 1 interception, and the only interception was that bullshit post route I told you on the first play of the game.
Okay.
Like, normally I'm throwing a snowstorm of interceptions against Dave. I'm out here playing the game of my freaking life to not freaking let Micah Parsons eat me alive, and that's how I still get jabbed. It's just fucking, what am I doing here? What am I doing here?
It's like we sign up for this shit every single season, every single year.
And there's always another thing you never thought would happen.
Yep. I feel for you, bro.
Look, man, I've seen a lot of these matchups, and look, Chris has he's won some.
I have Buffalo luck.
Yeah, like I would say that, like, either that or EA has like your IP address and they just want to fuck with you.
They hear you on the show talk shit about them, so they're
like, I was down that rabbit hole years ago. These motherfuckers were getting me for my Twitter.
Yeah, so that was the running joke, was that every time Chris would mention and fucking troll EA, they would go ahead and they would fucking hold the Bills. They'll hurt the Bills with ratings and shit like that. So.
I have both clips downloaded onto my phone. It's a 42-minute drive from my house to the front door of EA Studios in Santa Monica. I have to go to Santa Monica anyway for a completely separate incident. It may or may not involve traffic court. But like, I really want to walk in there and just explain this. Explain what I'm doing here. Why am I trying to play your game at the highest level you can play it? 15-minute quarters, highly competitive, chess match, back and forth, to have this happen. What are we doing here?
Right. And then you're gonna go in this offseason and you're gonna put your hand in the passing game to make it even less enjoyable for us all.
Yes. And that was the thing that I didn't like, was that, a lot of the plays, they were, like how Chris said, they were blatantly obvious. And and we played the game enough, you will know when these situations are happening.
That play's completely different.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you guys are running a little sluggish. Response times are off.
It's one guy's birthday, so 4 different passes are going to go right to him.
Yeah. Oh, let's not forget about the tip passes in the air. You try to defend a receiver, you knock the ball out. Some fucking jack off comes out of nowhere and catches it and runs for a touchdown.
We've had some bad ones, but I saw a replay the other day that was one of the worst tip pass interceptions I've ever seen. So the first guy in coverage goes up and deflects the ball and it bounces. The second guy over pursues the ball, so the ricochet goes behind him. And even though the ball's going backwards behind him and he's going forward, he reaches down between his legs and the ball comes down and he catches it from behind without even seeing the ball behind his legs.
Yeah.
In between.
Madden has
unreal, man.
Madden has always showed me a new low. Sloppy Madden plays has become one of my favorite Instagram accounts on social media. They will show you like just hundreds and hundreds of examples like what we're talking about across several generations of the Madden game. So if you don't know what we're talking about, that means you haven't played Madden, because if you did, you know exactly what we're talking about. But let's go ahead and move on to the second part of the segment. Does a competitive Madden player or football simulator gamer is the best judge for a NFL coach's game day acumen? Now, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna defer this to Chris and Sterling on this one here.
Let me set the stage here a little bit, and then you guys can interject on it once I've established the thesis of my argument. And I fully acknowledge the thesis of my argument is coming on the heels of us just trashing the shit out of Madden as an incompetent shit show. But I do believe there is a serious lack of savvy game day coaching at the NFL level. I'd argue the average competitive Madden player is far more sophisticated at game day decisions than the average NFL coach. So to set the stage for this discussion, here's the numbers I'm going to hit you with. And first, let me run down what we're talking about here. The decisions that a coach makes on game day are virtually identical to the decisions that somebody playing Madden makes every time they play the game. The specific decisions we're talking about here are the usage of timeouts, your clock management, your fourth down decisions, your 2-point calls, your replays to challenge, and penalties on whether or not to accept them. And what I believe, and what I have argued quite a bit on Twitter primarily, is that most of the NFL coaches are absolutely shoddy, if not atrocious, at game day management. And we live in an era where a game like Madden allows people to play the game and make those decisions on a repetitive basis. And there's high-level competitive gaming like we were just talking about. We play full 15-minute quarters. We have guys that study film on each other, the game plan, that strategize, all these different things. And when you're playing in these high pressure situations, the decision making, the theory behind the decision making, and the impetus behind these decisions is the exact same. You want to win the game. You want to control the clock. You want to own possession of the ball as much as possible. So the average NFL coach is 42 years old. Their average amount of experience is 12 years as a head coach. The game experience, how many times they've been in charge, and we're not talking about their time as a player or an assistant coach or any of those things, because a lot of Madden players all have that same kind of background. We're just talking as the man in charge making the decision. So 12 years with an average of what I went with was 20 regular season games a year, which is 17 regular season games, three preseason games, and then an average of 2 playoff games per year. So 22 games of decision making an average NFL coach can get per year. Over a 12-year career, bringing them up to where they presently would be, that is 264 games of decision making on these plays, on these timeouts, on all of this different stuff. Now, for us, we play a competitive Madden League. We basically play one game every day, sometimes every other day. It amounts to basically 19 games every 3 weeks. Some play more, some play less, but we're just talking about all in on one Madden League. That turns out to be 323 games per year. Every year, the experience of 12 years, actually 13 years of head coaching experience. That's a whole lot of seat time with the decision making. That's a whole lot of seeing the results of those decisions, seeing how it plays out over the long haul, because a lot of the theories behind the statistics of why you make decisions in a football game are very much like poker. In any given situation, you could make the call, and it could be the right call, but the outcome could go wrong. But if you make that call over and over again in similar situations over the long term, it's going to come out in your favor. So my argument, and I'll turn it over to you guys on which one that wants to jump on this first, is that the average competitive Madden player is actually smarter and more savvy on the decision making of football on a game day experience level than the the average NFL coach, or at the very least is intellectually qualified to be judging these motherfuckers on Twitter and saying exactly why they're morons getting paid millions of dollars to make a decision that is so basic and simple they overcomplicated it. Who wants to jump on this first?
I do. I'll jump on this first. So, yeah, I think there's some merit to what you're saying. I think when you add in, 60,000 screaming fans and the pressure of the moment, because I don't think you can really get that from Madden. Yeah, so I think you could.
But that pressure shouldn't be influencing your decisions.
But pressure does influence.
Absolutely, if right? You're a spineless, mediocre coach.
Right, and then there are some. But pressure in those moments definitely can get the best of you. Even the most tried and true strategists or head coaches, I would say, would admit that sometimes the emotion of it all and it'll get the best of you. So like I think from when you look at it from a macro point of view, just making the decision of clock management and so forth. Yeah, I would say that there's people out there who play Madden that can totally do that aspect. I mean, to the point to where you have NFL teams like the Broncos going in and hiring people to help you with clock management, right? So if they could do that, I think there's something to be said that somebody who's playing a bunch of Madden, like if we have flight simulators, if we have, think about all the situational simulation, mental reps and stuff. Yeah, there's something to be said about somebody who's on the couch playing Madden all the time could probably come in and help you manage a game when it comes to clock management and making some decisions.
And as far as that pressure element goes, isn't that also something else that the more games you coach and the more games you experience, the less that pressure influences your decisions in the moment?
It's different. I think at that level, you got to think there's salaries involved. There's a lot of things like there's pressure that owners put on coaches and players that for success that they want. And so you got these coaches. Sometimes we sit on one side and we say, I don't understand why he made that decision, right? But if you were to talk to the coach without having to worry about what, he'd probably be like, yo, I've been pressured by the owner to da-da-da-da-da. Like here's a case in point example. This is what I heard from NFL circles. The whole Tua thing. I think I shared some of this on the show. So Brian Flores did not want Tua to play, but Stephen Ross, the owner, wanted Tua to play. Then I'm not talking about this year. This is last year. So you remember when Fitzpatrick and Tua was doing that whole platooning bullshit? That was all the owner.
Yeah.
Brian Flores did not want that, but Brian Flores is the one that had to answer the questions and act like he was a good soldier and go along with whatever the decision that was like it was his decision. But Stephen Ross was the one, he was Geppetto. So I don't know. I just think there's two ways to look at it.
Ghost brings up a really good point that I agree with. That as we move forward, and we've seen this with the quarterbacks over the last 10 years or so, that quarterbacks are much more savvy, much more better at reading defenses, much more ahead of the game on their mental knowledge and growth of the sport. But Ghost is saying that as you see these younger players that grew up on Madden start evolving and making it into the coaching ranks, that you're going to see that evolve and change. And to some extent, I think that's starting to slip into the league with some of these younger guys that are coaching and more aware of this stuff. But I still feel like there's just far too many of the old guard guys that just they make the decision simply because that's the way the decision's always been made.
Yeah, I can totally understand that.
And I gotta just say, I gotta agree with Sterling on this one, because there is the added, the exterior factors. Let's just call them like that, from higher ups. And you got people's salaries, people depending on you as well. But to say what Chris is saying, there are some aspects to where you know, it's specifically clock management is where I'm kind of talking about, because look, I play a lot of Madden, but I'm no Sean Payton. Okay, you know, I'll be the first one to say that. But whenever Sean Payton had, you know, that NFC championship round where the infamous no call happened, the one thing that stood out to me was it was the second play where he decided to, or it was the first where he decided to pass the ball, and I was like, you know, why wouldn't you know, run the clock? You can get into a little closer to field goal range. The clock is running, so if anything would happen, and I want to say that they had the lead, they would have to use a timeout. The Rams would have to use a timeout. And I think they only had like one left, and I was just running through that, and I was like, this is the same shit that I would have did on Madden. And but to backtrack and say, to backtrack to the event that me and my family was at, the Chiefs and Texans game. My nephew was there, and he plays Madden. He's a high school footballer, and the one thing he kept saying throughout that whole game was, in Madden they would have did this. In Madden they would have did that. In Madden, 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 Madden. Everything was referred to as in Madden, and it's like, dude, you play high school ball, like, you know, you can, you know what's going. But Madden was always what he referred to, was like, if this was Madden, he should have did this, he should have did that, he should have did that. So I do think that, you know, how Ghost just said that, you know, people that have grown up on it, it's becoming a part of their game.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of, you know, interested to see how this league takes that and how they move forward with it. But and Ghost also said that, you know, Sean McVay and like younger coaches and shit, you know, they put that into the.
There's just some things, and I'm going to bring you a perfect example. I just saw this past week's game. I can't remember what game it was. It wasn't the Bills game, but it was one of the nationally televised games. There's just some things that I see every single week that 100 professional people involved with the sport, not one of them should, like, somebody should be losing their mind that this is the decision we're making as a collective, as a group. And my example is, it was like first and 10 from the half-yard line going out for the offense. And the play clock was running down, and the coach saw that they were about to take a delay of game penalty, and this motherfucker used a timeout. Do either one of you guys understand why that's a completely ridiculous decision to make in that situation? What's the penalty for delay of game on the half-yard line?
Delay a game is the loss of down.
What now? What do you ask?
He said delay of game on the
the play clock runs out. You get a delay of game penalty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
what's the enforcement if you're on your own half-yard line?
Oh,
you mean?
Oh,
you
really.
Talking about they move? Yeah, they move it half
the
distance to the goal. But
it's
like
a 2.5-inch penalty.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get the delay of game. We gotta get that timeout in. Like, how are you at the professional level?
Okay.
And you don't know the trade-off there is better to keep your timeout.
Let's make this make sense then. So let's talk about what happened this past Sunday with the Raiders and the Patriots.
Okay.
So last play of the game, they decide they're gonna run the ball. They ran the ball. Like, y'all noticed that? Like,
yeah.
They ran a running play at the 50-yard line.
It's because their quarterback's got a rag on.
Right? Why wouldn't you just kneel it out or throw a Hail Mary? Why are you going to run the ball? It don't make no sense. The odds of you running a touchdown on that play has got to be 1%, 2%. Versus a throw gives you higher odds. Higher risk.
Yeah.
But you ran the ball, and then you still lost because Jacoby Myers made a bonehead play.
Because he wrapped the L1 button, did a stupid lateral, and lost like you're supposed to.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
It's gonna come out that game.
Chris is hurt. My man's
Yeah.
hurt.
Yeah, Chris is not letting that one go, man. But we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna have to get off of that one. My aunt's dog is acting buck wild in the
We got
background.
draft to get to here too.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do.
So we're gonna go over to the NFL. Move over to the NFL right now. If you haven't heard, Jalen Hurts is playing hurt, or he might be playing hurt. We don't know, because Philly don't even know yet. But the Dallas and Philly second half of their divisional matchup is upon us, and Philadelphia is kind of keeping tight lips about whether he's going to play or not. You heard in the beginning he's going to not. Then you're going to hear that Nick Sirianni saying that, hey, don't never say never.
Don't they just need one more win to clinch home field advantage?
I believe so. But do you? So I'm gonna ask you guys: do you feel that Hurts should play this matchup, seeing that they already have the win earlier in the series?
Nah, I'd say sit him. Well, what do you? I mean, if we're gonna talk about the Cowboys, they're gonna piss down their leg, regardless. So I'd say sit him. Get your quarterback right for the playoffs, man. You don't need to play.
You got 3 games to win 1. You still get home field advantage. I sit him for the 2, and if you still need the win, then play him in the last game of the season after he's had 2 weeks to recover. But you hope you win one of those 2 games without him, and you've got it locked up, and now he doesn't have to play for 4 or 5 weeks.
And Gardner Minshew is not a slouch when it comes to backup quarterback. I mean, he's a guy that has experience and come in and get the job done. So I would totally rest him. Rely on Miles Sanders to run the ball.
Let me see who their final 3 games are against. So it's Dallas this week.
No, I think it's Dallas this week. Saturday they play them.
So they've got Dallas this week. Then they're at home against the Saints. Then they're at home against the Giants.
They don't. Yeah.
They should probably win that Saints game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They should win the Saints game. They should win. The Giants one might be.
Well, if you need them by that point, you bring them back in. I'd sit them the first 2. Hope you get the win. If not, then you're at home against the Giants for home field advantage.
Yeah, and I think that would probably be the more logical, choice. Now, unless you want to go ahead and just feed into the whole rivalry, and you want the sweep. I'm pretty sure
at the risk of my quarterback when we're the Super Bowl favorite.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. Like just to quench a bloodlust. No, thank you.
What was his injury anyway? I didn't.
It was a shoulder injury. Yeah, it was a shoulder injury, I believe. It was
I'm guessing the non-throwing shoulder.
That I don't know.
I mean, if he injured his throwing shoulder, they're absolutely nuts if they play
if it's the throwing shoulder, no. Like if it's the non-throwing shoulder, I can see why they would probably want to play him, but
just rest him, man.
I think
don't be stupid.
Yeah, I think the resting part is probably because you already have the lead on them, and don't get into the the shit talking. Oh, we only beat them, whenever they had their backup quarterback. Well, guess what? Now y'all got a chance to beat us while we have our backup quarterback. So I think Hurts ultimately should just stay out, rest up for the playoffs. You're gonna have the first overall seed. Did they locked it up, right?
No, I think they need one more win, or they need somebody to lose one. Okay. So I mean, and so you even have double chance. So even if they don't win one of the next 2, if the next closest team to them loses one, you've got it wrapped either way. Let's sit his ass.
Yeah. I think you need to stay sit. They need to sit him. Don't risk it.
Once again, if this was Madden, I'd still sit his ass.
I'm telling you, dog.
No.
Simple decisions.
Yeah. If it's Madden, definitely you got to sit him, because Madden will fuck around and give you a career-ending injury. And they don't even have those things anymore, but they'll find a way. Fucking find a way. All right, so we're going to go up to our next subject. We have the Sterling Power Rankings. Oh, damn, caught you off guard, Chris.
All right, we're ready.
All right.
Hang on.
Let's start from number 10.
All right, we're off.
All right, so here we go. Week 16 Power Rankings. We up in here. So we got the Chargers at number 10. Justin Herbert, these boys, they're playing well, man. There's really not much you can say other than their defense is trash. But hey, we gotta put them at number 10 this week. They didn't really do much last week. And then can we get Lamar Jackson back, man? Is this a now, Chris? Before you say anything negative about this man,
I pissed off Ravens fans this week.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. But they got to get quarterback one back, man. You know, maybe is there something where Lamar could be faking this injury? Who knows? He wants his money. So yeah, if I'm Lamar Jackson, I'd stay out until you pay me. I'm not coming back. But the competitor that he is, I really do like this team. They're going to get healthier. You know, I still think that they're not very sound in the secondary, but linebacker play with Roquan Smith being added to the fold is great. They still, outside of Mark Andrews, they really don't have an option at a wide receiver. But this team continually battles injuries. But for right now, they're still number 9.
Can I ask you a question here?
Go for it.
Have you seen tangible difference in their offense since Lamar Jackson's been out, or has Hundley basically done the same exact thing Lamar was doing?
That's not even close, and I watched both games. It's not even close. Yeah. Look, as much as I know you don't like Lamar Jackson, when he's on the field, he is a difference maker. Like
in the regular season,
he's a good quarterback. He's not elite. I don't think Lamar Jackson is elite, but he's a really good quarterback. I'll give him that.
He's the most dangerous kind of quarterback there is.
Oh,
the one that can win just enough to stop you from drafting a great quarterback.
Stop it. Next up, we got the Miami mother effing Dolphins. How do you like that? Y'all motherfuckers come to Buffalo in the freezing cold. Y'all put up a good fight. So let me tell you. Well, it wasn't the snow until the fourth quarter, but quarters 1, 2, and 3, baby, them boys were throwing snowballs at your ass. So you were getting pelted from Greg Rousseau, and you were getting pelted in the back of the head with ice. Now, what I don't appreciate is Mike McDaniel, the coach, is going over and talking to the referees like, can we get them to stop throwing snowballs? Like, nigga, shut up and fucking coach. I don't want to hear or see you. But, again, Waddle, Tyreek Hill, they put up a good fight, but once the snow started coming in the fourth quarter, it was game over, son. Next,
he's lucky there was only one drive in the snow, because if he had to play more than that, it would have got real ugly for him.
Yeah, and the Bills should have blown him out, but they didn't. The Cowboys, man. I would be remiss if I came on here like Stephen A. Smith, and I've been talking real good about the Cowboys all season because you know what, I part of me wants to believe in them. But when you go out and you lose to the damn Jaguars the way you did, and you gotta for 2 or 3 games straight now, Dak Prescott is looking mid. He's looking mid. This is a team. Look, man, they need everything to go right for them to win. That the defense is not that good. I know, and we could talk about this when Russ gets back. You know, I kind of feel bad, like I'm talking shit about the Cowboys when Russ is not here. But I'm just letting y'all know the Cowboys, they may be paper champs right now because you lose to the Jaguars, and I know it's any given Sunday, bro. But come on, dog. Like you had the Texans the week before, you didn't look good, and then you come back. You should be playing your best football right now, and I don't think the Cowboys are. So that's why they're dropped on my list. 2
Cowboys related things here. One, real quick, Jeremy's little thesis proved correct once again. The teams that struggle against the Texans lose to shit teams the next week. You should have put money on that.
I should have.
2, the Dak Prescott situation in Dallas is the ghost of Christmas future for the Baltimore Ravens.
What you mean?
Why you say that?
Dak ain't it.
Well,
They paid him the money, and he ain't it, and they know it. Everybody knows it, and they're stuck with him.
I'd rather have Lamar Jackson all the way over Dak.
I agree.
It's the same choice.
No, it's not.
Ghost of Christmas future.
Is Dak Prescott a top 10 quarterback?
No.
See that. I always felt he was a fringe 10 guy.
Yeah, I'd say 12, 11, 12.
Yeah.
10, like between 10 and 15. Maybe.
Yeah, he fringe 10. You know, he floats around that area. But
he's a better Kirk Cousins.
Boom.
There's a level of NFL quarterbacks that are above average, but they're never going to be good enough to win against the elite quarterbacks when it matters.
Right, and he's one of them. Dak Prescott's one of those guys.
And that's really my only beef with Lamar. I think he's talented. I think he's fun to watch. I think he's a great leader. All of these different things, but I think ultimately his ceiling is just below the elite quarterbacks he's going to be constantly going up against in the playoffs for the rest of his career.
That's not fair because we haven't the Ravens haven't given Lamar Jackson the weaponry that some of these other franchise quarterbacks have. They just haven't. They haven't.
Because they built their entire offense around him as a run offense. They can't build a pass-happy offense because they had to build this run offense that is catered to him.
He could do it. I don't think he's an elite passer. We're talking pure passing. He's not an elite passer, but I think if you were to give him like a real number one wide receiver and some ancillary weapons, I think you'd see a much better passing offense out of Lamar Jackson. Get Greg Roman out of it. I think Greg Roman is a part of the problem why Lamar Jackson, we don't see that progression that we're all looking for as a passer or as a whole quarterback. I think Greg Roman's at fault there because, like you said, how they structure that offense. All right, we got the Vikings up. Okay, look, man. Part of me, I'm going to give the Vikings some credit because they came back and they beat the Colts. You're down 33-0. Like, I'm going to give you, like, only reason, let me tell you something. Let me tell you what happened. Madden fucked this game up for the Colts. Madden came in and said, because what you did to Frank Reich, John Madden said, you know what, motherfucker, I'm going to make you pay. And that's what he did to the Colts. He made them pay. You ruined Andrew Luck. Jeff Saturday is a coach with no experience. So the Vikings, that's the only reason why you won that game, bro. Because y'all should have lost 33-0 to the damn Colts. And the Colts couldn't come in the second half. The only thing they got is 3 points. Are you kidding me, dog?
It had to be 33.
You're trash.
Too.
You are trash. You are trash. So, yeah, they're here at number 5.
Took our damn record.
I know, dude. Next, we got the Cincinnati Bengals. Okay, so I got a problem with this one, too, because y'all beat Tom Brady. And Tom Brady, without his Wiccan wife, he ain't got the juice no more, bro. He is a mid quarterback, and so
he got that prune juice.
He got that prune juice. Like he need the witch's brew because he ain't got it no more. So you beat up on the Buccaneers, and they. I mean, you talk how many fumbles did they have in the second half, and it was just this terrible football. But I still think that the Bengals are they're one of the better teams in the league. Joe Burrow and these guys continue. Like I've said from the beginning of the year, you want to be playing your best football towards the end of the season, and the Bengals are right now. Talking about another team, and we made jokes about Brock Purdy, but damn, these 49ers are looking Purdy right now. When you're throwing a wide open receivers with 30 yards and no damn defenders around them, you got to look Purdy. I don't know what the hell was going on with the defense that they played against last week. Who was it? It was the Seahawks. Like, come on, dog. Come on, man.
The second I saw that touchdown play to Kittle, I'm like, man, I would really like it if our offensive coordinator added that play into our bag.
Dog.
The fake
around
right down the middle.
But the problem is, Dawson Knox would drop it. He would drop that pass. So it wouldn't do us any good. Next. The 49ers are really good. We got the Kansas City Chiefs, man. Look, as much as the Chiefs won the game, I'm going to say the Texans lost. Texans, how many games are you going to play?
You had them and you let them off the hook.
Yeah, you had them and you let them off the hook. You're 1-10 11-1. Like, you had the Chiefs, damn it. You couldn't get it done. Like, that quarterback fumbling at the end in overtime, and then y'all just let old boy run a touchdown on y'all in overtime. I mean, the Chiefs are good, and the next 3 teams, you're going to get everybody's best shot each and every week. Again, I just feel like, the good news about all this is every team in the NFL really is just beatable at this point. Next, we got the Buffalo Bills. I'm going to give them credit. They had a really good win this week. Josh Allen is getting back to being Josh Allen. He was incredible. The defense had some blunders, but they got it together. Again, when you're expected to be one of the best teams in the league, you're going to get everybody's best shot, and the Dolphins are no slouch. But unfortunately, I have to say that once again that the Philadelphia Eagles are the best team in the league. Now, the question remains, how are they going to sit Jalen Hurts out for a couple games? I don't know, but I think one of the things that we have to be excited about is Miles Sanders. He has eclipsed 1,000-yard rushing season in multiple double-digit touchdowns, which he did not reach the end zone last season. So Miles Sanders is having a phenomenal year. This defense is still humming. You know, they're athletic everywhere on that defense. So the Eagles right now are the best team in the league. I don't see when I look at the Eagles, I don't see Super Bowl. I feel like this is a team that's going to lose to the 49ers in the divisional round or AFC Championship game. So there is the top 10 of the week.
All right. So we got one more subject to get on before we get out of here. We're going to talk about how the top AFC teams look after Week 15. So let me just kick it off. I was just at the Texans and Chiefs game, and I was in the stands. I was that guy, heckling, Chiefs fans because they was looking like, very, very, like we struggling with 1-10-1. We have playoff aspirations. We got Pat Mahomes. I sat there. I seen how it put like this. It was a home game for the Kansas City Chiefs in Houston, Texas. And the amount of Chiefs fans that have Pat Mahomes' haircut style is sickening. Okay? It's sickening. All right? That's all I have to say about you guys. But other than that, you guys were looking very scared, shooken in your boots at the Texans. It's just like, come on, bro. You supposed to come in here and run us. For 4 quarters, we ran y'all.
Yeah.
And we had y'all looking, y'all was in the stands. I seen you. You was nervous. You was shaking.
What's your guys' hottest takes for the final 3 weeks of the AFC?
The Jaguars are going to win the division in the AFC South.
I'll say that. I'll say Jaguars will win the AFC South. And I'll go ahead and I'll say this right here. The Miami Dolphins will drop out the playoff race.
Well, the Miami Dolphins are coming in 4th in the AFC East. That's mine.
They're going to drop out the playoff race.
I don't know, man.
Do you know the rest of their schedule?
Who they got?
So they played Green Bay at home this week, which I don't think that's quite a gimme. I can see Green Bay is fighting for their life.
Mm-hmm.
Then they play the Jets the following week. I think that's going to be a great game. But then the final week of the season, they go to New England and play in New England. I think they're going to get boat raced in the snow again.
I mean,
they lose 2 out of 3 of those. They're finishing 4th.
I'll say they lose 2 out of the 3, but they don't lose to New England though.
I don't think they lose 2 out of 3. I think they go 2-1.
They have the Tua hasn't won a game when it's below 40. They're not winning in New England.
Where's the game at this weekend? Is it in Green Bay?
It's in Miami.
Oh, so they'll be all right. They'll be all right.
Yeah, they're lucky 2 out of the 3 are home, because if 2 of the 3 were on the road in Green Bay, New York, and New England, forget about it.
Yeah.
But I think they lose 1 of the 2 to the Jets and Green Bay, and I don't think they're winning the cold. Not so much New England as it is the location.
The weather.
Yeah. I mean, that defense is not good, and Aaron Rodgers, I think, the way they're playing as an offense right now, I think they're a lot better. So, and we know their defense is good, and you got Jair Alexander and Desmond King and some of those guys that I think they're not going to be able to run with Hill and Waddle, but they're bigger corners who can get a hand on them. So, kind of, press man and see what happens. So, yeah, I think they could lose this weekend.
Yeah, I got the Dolphins missing the playoffs.
I definitely think they miss the playoffs, but I think it'll be great if they totally collapse and come in 4th in the AFC East when they were the Week 3 AFC East champs.
Oh yeah, has things changed?
Yo, my, has things changed?
Yo, these Dolphins fans are still crying about the pass interference penalty with no awareness that there was also holding on the same guy and on the same route. He was beat so bad he just tried to tackle McKenzie so he wouldn't get the easy touchdown, and they're all over here acting like it was a bailout call.
Yeah, that was blatant pass interference. The defensive player didn't even turn around and look to see where the ball was. He did the whole time.
He did what he was supposed to do. You got smoked. You got to tackle the guy, or it's an easy touchdown. It's the only thing he could do was take the penalty in that situation.
I don't know why they're crying. They lost.
He'd probably be the first to say that it was an intentional penalty because he got beat.
Yeah.
All right. So speaking of the AFC East teams, let's get to the Thursday night preview real quick. The New York Jets are taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars, a team that we were just talking about, a team that we feel that can take the AFC South. This game, by all intent and purposes, you're looking at it, is Barusa. It's trash. It's looking like it's not going to be quality watchable football here. So to keep the theme up with Thursday Night Football with Amazon Prime, it's trash. Okay, maybe about like 3 games out.
These games aren't prime.
Yeah, they're not prime. Not like Amazon. Okay, so Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Jets. The Jets are favored by 1.5 points. Just to give you what kind of game they're gonna have. Tune in, or not. Choice is yours. I'm not.
If the Jets win, they'll make the playoffs.
Still not gonna watch it. It's the Jets. It's the Jets. Why would I?
So this game is in New Jersey. But I think this is the perfect situation for the Jaguars, just because nobody's watching you, nobody cares, and nobody really knows that you're 1 game from being in first place in the AFC South, because nobody gives a fuck about the Jaguars. So this is the perfect time to come in and sneak in and get another W. It's like the Jaguars and the Lions are like brothers. They're like the same fucking thing this year. Like they are almost identical. So I'm going to watch this game because I secretly want the Jaguars to get into the playoffs, because that would be just phenomenal, just to see them in there, and the Titans and trash-ass Ryan Tannehill and his garbage can go home. So give me the Jaguars on that.
I think the Jets are going to win. I'm not watching that game no matter what, but are you guys familiar with the weather report for Chicago this weekend?
Yeah, so the Bills had to fly. They flew in tomorrow? They're flying in because Friday's going to be uncontrollably bad.
Saturday it's supposed to be 2 to 5 inches throughout the game, 50-mile-an-hour whiteout condition wind, and 25 to 35 negative wind chill factor.
Wait, during the game?
During the game.
Oh hell!
Yeah, there was a bunch of people on Twitter like, "You're not talking about moving this game."
Yeah, well, that game, I'm gonna be honest with Buffalo's favored by what, 8.5? Yeah, that's going. All right, Hurricane. Hey, we coming, man. just hold them off for 5 more minutes, baby. We're gonna close it out right here. All right.
And I think Ghost might be right with Joe Burrow sneaking in and stealing the MVP.
So, but yes, oh yeah, Joe Burrow definitely. Definitely, I think he's making his late season campaign push for those MVP, because I think Tua just pissed away his chances here. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna close it out here, guys, because we got our league messaging us right now saying that we need to go ahead and come on with it. So
GML waits for no man other than the guy that advances the draft.
That's what I'm about to say. I said you can't get started because this is the guy that has to run it. So, but that is our show today, man. Sports Sushi. Every Wednesday. This is the last one of 2022. Next time you see us, this will be the first show of 2023. I am DJ Slow Boogie. You can find us on all forms of social media. On Twitter, it is Sports Sushi, all one word. On Instagram, it's sports_sushi. Facebook, it is Gratwick Podcast Network. Did I get that one right, or is it Gratwick Enterprises?
Facebook is Gratwick Enterprises.
Gratwick Enterprises on Facebook, and YouTube and Twitch is Gratwick Podcast Network. So once again, if you would like to tune in live via the Discord, you could just go click that link in the bio on the Twitter app, and you could join us. Or you want to wait, you can find these episodes that will be uploaded tomorrow on Apple Podcasts and Spotify podcasts. You can find me on all forms of social media as DJ Slowboy. You with an I, not a Y. What you got for Sterling? Where can these people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Furrow Sterling. You can find written content and things at BuffaloRumblers.com.
All right, Chris, where can they find you at, man?
I'm Sports Plug Russ. You can find me at RL Climb SP or on Instagram at sportsplug.russ. Go be great.
All right, man. Peace, everybody. Chris.